We're going to continue having a look at the inequalities in the world by focusing now on water. We'll do some more work on it later on, but we'll just have a look at the basic facts about safe water. Things to start thinking about is that water is a precious resource, and we hear that a lot, but we actually can't create any more of it. Our water cycle is a closed loop, and we'll have a look at the water cycle a little bit later on, and you'll remember it from year 7, but we actually can't put any more new water into that. It's a closed loop. Another thing to think about is that rich countries who have issues with drought and not having enough water are still able to create more things to help them with their problems, whereas our poorer countries, they don't have that luxury. So just pause and have a look at these statistics about water. We've got every 20 seconds a child dies from the water that they're drinking, which, you know, over this video clip we'll have quite a number of children dying in the world from unsafe water. We've got 3.575 million people dying every year from water-related disease. That's quite a number of people. Also, the other thing to think about with water is that women are often in charge of collecting water. So we've got an average African woman walking 4 hours a day to collect water. These are just some things that are happening in the world. So you have looked at water before, but let's just do a quick review. So I've got water forming 2/3 of the human body, so it's a really important nutrient for us. We know that humans can live for a month without food, but only 3 days without water. So again, stressing its importance. And we also know that there's not a lot of fresh water in the world. So although we've got the Earth being 70% water, and we can see that from all of the blue parts on a map, only 3% of that is fresh, and then 77% of that is frozen. So we only have about 0.6% of water on the Earth that we can actually consume that's in lakes, rivers, reservoirs and underground sources. So have a look at the map on your right, and it actually shows you the amount of fresh water available. The stats are from 2007, but it would be still fairly similar. You'll notice that Australia is fairly blue, so we have access to quite a lot of water. The darker blue areas up in the north part of America, they've got plenty of water too, but the people who have a real scarcity in water is the orange, so that's through that middle part in through Africa. A lot of shortage of water there. Bit of a clearer map here where we're looking at the share of population, so how much of the population actually has access to good drinking water. Again, the bluer areas, definitely looking at over 70% of the population having access to safe water, but as you get down to the red colours, you'll notice that through Africa and in through Indonesia there are populations who don't have access to safe water. So in many countries the water actually isn't treated to remove the germs. So in Australia here our water is treated, but in many countries it's not. So a lot of the problem with people dying from water illnesses is from having diarrhea and getting that diarrhea because of the bugs that are in it. Have a look, just pause and have a look at the statistics, and maybe make a note of a couple of those, particularly to do with how many children are dying per year because of unsafe water. This image from the World Health Organization actually gives us a really close idea about how many deaths are due to unsafe water each year. Have a look for that first one, India, 454,000 deaths from unsafe water. Right down, even look at Singapore, we've got 12 deaths there, Japan, 887. So you'll notice it just keeps getting higher and higher, particularly in those poorer developing countries. When we look at who's using water in the world, Australia are actually one of the highest consumers of water, and we're using about 350 litres per person per day, whereas in developing countries they're more using 50 litres a day. I think the statistic is 80 litres. If we had 80 litres of water per day, we could be clean and have enough water to drink. So we're using well above that. What you might do is have a look on your water bill at home and have a look and see how much water you're using in your house per day. Some things that need to be looked at in terms of trying to get more access to clean water, we have to look at some more sustainable development activities, including recycling of water. Also, there's been a lot of research into creating drought-tolerant plants so that we don't have to water them as much, and also desalinating, so taking the salt out of seawater so that we can actually drink and use that water. The World Health Organization are working to reduce the amount of deaths from waterborne illness. So the first goal that they have is providing safe water for people, but you'll see they also have the goals of sanitation and hygiene. They actually have to educate people in these poorer countries that they shouldn't be drinking dirty water because that is actually killing their children, and also that they have to actually sanitize their water so that it's safe for drinking.